Hi, this is Caroline Einstein, and we're here with Peeragogy, the Peeragogy project, Peeragogy in Action, today on the 28th of March, 1916, and I'm here with Charlotte Pierce right now. We're waiting for a few other people to join us in just a little bit. We're going to be talking mostly about a number of different things, but we're going to start by focusing on onboarding onto the GitHub repository that we've set up a number of working groups to explore different topics on the GitHub repository. And it's going to be fantastic for me because I'm somewhat new to GitHub, and it's a fascinating platform, which is great for organizing projects, basically, is how I see it right now, but I have a lot to learn. So I'm looking forward to this. Charlotte, my fearless leader who helps me understand all these digital platforms.
Yeah, and I think we're in 2016 instead of 1916.
Oh, did I say 1916? Oh, gee whiz.
That's okay.
The team we've had since then.
We've done a number of things this morning already, so
it's been a busy day. It's been 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I woke up at about 4:35. So yeah, it's been out with the dogs first. That was nice. Not as long as I would have liked to. Run a dog running pack run organization with my. I've got a. And then into the church was great.
Yeah, the concert, and we're using Peeragogy in our concert
lineups.
Yeah, our crew organization, and giving people a stake in the project, and giving them providing a reason for or motivation for people to be involved. And it's kind of cool how those things work together.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. I rushed over to the church, and there was the main singer and two people on her crew. And I think we all were really surprised at how we decided we could use the church best for this concert. They had great ideas, and we were just bouncing ideas off one another on how to build a temporary stage that we could tear down and put up time and again. And it's a gorgeous stone church with stained glass windows here in Arlington. Really beautiful church, great acoustics. I'm looking forward to it. So
I think that's going to be like a transcendent concert. It's Patty Barkus, and
an amazing person and an amazing singer.
Yeah, here's a picture of her. And then, do you want me to get the GitHub thing up so we can start?
That'd be great.
Okay, but I have to show you Patty Barkus. There she
is. She's a wonderful person.
And she doesn't she doesn't perform very much here in this part of Massachusetts. I mean, she's done a lot of work with famous musicians and things, but studio work, but she's just now starting to do more concerts, and we're one of her first ones.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate. She's really a lot of fun to work with. Great ideas, really knows how to communicate, very good at pedagogy.
And I think one of the things she does is paying it forward, so you she's shown and, she's demonstrated her commitment. Then when she comes in with ideas in our meeting this morning,
Charlotte, you're coming in and out. The sound is
okay. We were very able to we were very disposed to listen to her because she's already presented a lot of good ideas. So
she's great to work with.
Is that better? The
sound? Yeah.
It is. Okay. Yeah. It's just.
So Charlotte, help me with it was great this morning with Patty Barkus. So Charlotte and I have both had very busy mornings already. But I'm trying to cut 6 hours of work, so I'm a little flustered. So how did you discover GitHub, and how did you get involved? I mean, you're helping me to get involved in GitHub, and it's still
right. And I don't know everything about it, but here's our Peeragogy. It's basically like a project management collaboration tool.
Okay. Yep.
So you can download it and set it up, or I think it's just online. Actually, I don't know if you can get
your sound is
okay. you can get, just a second. Check your cables. Okay. You can download it. There's an app. There are some apps for GitHub for your phone, but I think it's just, internet based here. So we have Peeragogy. It's called a repository, I think. Yes, there it is, the word repository. And, I'm just sort of faking it here because Joe Corneli, this guy,
is amazing. Really,
he's
very nice, very intelligent.
He and Fabrizio, who's also an early person in the project, they were mentioning it, and I'd heard about it in other places, but it's a very good way it started with software development, and it's a very good way to have a lot of people working in different places on a project and be able to track the changes and put them back in the main repository or document in a sequence that makes sense. So, for example, our Peeragogy handbook, this is the Peeragogy handbook. These are all the chapters for it. So I could take one of these and edit it using this. And as collaborators on this project, anyone who's signed on to the GitHub.
Wait, Charlotte, your sound is.
Okay. I don't know what to do. Oh, wait a second.
Okay.
Is that any better?
It's really clear for a while, and then it comes in and out. It gets really digital sounding, metallic sounding.
Interesting. So tell me if it keeps happening, and I'll just put it on a different. Wait a second. Okay. Maybe I haven't configured my. No, I did configure my microphone.
Okay. If it happens again, maybe I'll text on the sidebar here.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So I can be editing on here. This here is just. This is these. If you put something in between these lines, I think it's not I think it's a title, makes it into a title.
Heading.
Yeah, heading type thing. So there is what it looks like in the actual document. But I can make changes. I could put in nonsense, but I'm responsible, so I won't put in nonsense. When we put in your changes, Karen, that you proofread, we'll do this. We'll go chapter by chapter, and then at the end, you kind of, Karen and I entered changes on this chapter. This is actually the actual manuscript of the book. It lives online, and it is constantly changing. So. And
it would have to be. It's a fascinating book. I just finished proofreading it last week, and I ended up using different colors of highlighters for things that I need to look up and things that I don't. And there's a lot of great information on different digital platforms that have been tried in order to do pedagogical work internationally. And it's fantastic because I know we're working on a number of different projects right now, but for me, the project that I've been working the most on is the handbook. And I think it's a really good way of consolidating kind of this almost amorphous kind of how can peers best help each other to learn something new and to create a project of some sort. And I'm particularly interested in the whole idea of assessment and how do you assess yourself and how do you assess your group. And and then also there are just brilliant projects that people have, pedagogical projects that people have have worked with successfully.
And pedagogy is the cool thing about it is that there's a lack of a hierarchy, and people don't force each other to do things or give directives. You must do this.
Mhm.
It's kind of drawn by, that's what the peer-produced part of it is, peer-produced, peer learning. So everyone's got to have a stake in it and be able to, there are challenges because, people get busy, they might not have time.
And it's,
but yeah, that I think that's what distinguishes peeragogy from just, plain old collaboration or whatever.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I think one of the really interesting things that distinguishes peeragogy from collaboration is, as you said, the handbook is online, and it has to be online because it's constantly changing, because the platforms that are the digital platforms that are created for people to do project management, online project management, are constantly changing. There are constantly new apps and new platforms to use, and so of course, peeragogy is going to change. And then also, one of the nice things I really like about peeragogy is you define it as you go along, so that you're in a group and you set your goals, and then you work on those goals for a couple of weeks or however long, depending on the goals. It may be 6 months, it may be 2 days. And then you reevaluate and you say, oh, is this is the direction we thought was going to be the best to reach our goal, but do we still really want to reach that goal? Is this really the right direction? I mean, it's a fantastic.
Yeah, I think one challenge we have right now is our fearless leader, Joe Corneli, he's off doing another project right now, and it has caused a vacuum because
it
sort of looked for him, so we're trying to find our own way, and I think it's really good for us actually to do this, because I think he was, people were just kind of relying on him too much for direction, and this is again we're discovering what works best as we go along. So
I think the timing was really interesting, because kind of like deep down inside, I think after having proofread the book and read it for like the 5th time, but literally looking for different types of problems with style and explanation and typos and everything else. I love that book, I have to say.
Wow, that's great.
I really do. And I think after having read it this last time, and then things happen in life as well that distract you from your focus and stuff like that. But this time, after I was reading it, I was thinking maybe deep down inside, consciously or unconsciously, Joe stepped back because he knew that we're looking at him too much for guidance.
Yeah, I think he's actually done that. He's done that before, and it's a good thing, Yeah. So, but with me training you on the Hangouts this morning, and previously, I think, that's another way that you can feel like you have ownership of this, or part ownership of this project is, a personal stake in it, is that you will be able to start these, and you will be able to take your working group and invite people to hang out about it, and
one step at a time. Don't play a Joe. Not now.
No. I mean, I'll be here. I think there's ways to do it. There's the removal of the charismatic leader, and then there's the sort of, bringing people on and demonstrating and showing them how it can benefit them. So, I'm trying to show my publishing organization, the trade organization that I'm president of, I'm trying to show them how it works without necessarily calling it peeragogy. But I think it's actually working really well. I mean...
Yeah, and I have to say, Charlotte, you've really been helping me a lot with the digital stuff. And the platform that we're using for the publishing company, Asana, is something that for the longest time, I was like, no, not another platform. No, I can't fit it in my all too tiny mind. And then when I did actually spend, it was just a few hours of sitting down figuring out how it worked. It's so peeragogical that platform. It's called Asana, and it's a
Mhm.
great way of just, you know, continuing various threads and dialogues with people in your group, and
Mhm.
and
And tagging them,
schedule.
like, what do you think about this? You know, and then
Yep.
you use the @ symbol, Karen, and it pops you up. And then when you go on, you get a little tiny red dot, and you read
Yep.
what somebody has to say to you. And, you know, there are ways to kind of highlight and escalate the importance, or to tamp it down, and, you know, then people don't feel so overwhelmed.
Yeah, well, that actually, you just brought me back to another point, and I was just thinking about what you were saying about how GitHub is our repository for the handbook, and part of the reason is that it almost has to be digital, because it's in today's day and age, things are changing just so rapidly in the digital world that you know, once you publish something in print, and we do have a printed version, and I like working with the printed version, but once you publish it printed, then something else comes up and you have to change, and so it kind of has to be digital. And one of
Right.
the other things that I picked up this time reading the book again is the concept of connectivism as a pedagogical theory.
Uh-huh.
And the idea that pedagogy, and this is true because I've just spent, you know, 3 decades basically working in the field of education, and pedagogy has radically changed with the digital age. And at first, when I was in Spain, and we were working with you know, smartphones when they first came out, and we're thinking about how smartphones can be really useful in the classroom, and they really can be. I didn't really think, it didn't really hit me about how that changed pedagogy, but it really did, because, you know, you're in a classroom of students and everybody has their smartphones, and as a teacher, you know, if you want to frustrate yourself no end, then you try to set rules on smartphone use. I mean, basically,
give in to the energy.
yeah, exactly. Basically, what you want to try to do is inspire people to use their smartphones in a way that's going to be beneficial for everyone in the classroom.
Now,
And there are
Julia is here.
yeah,
and I'm wondering if she has a comment on smartphones, or is there, you know, you are interested in pursuing the teacher training topic. So.
Well, as you wish.
Okay, well, I mean, I was just talking about how smartphones have really changed the way that classrooms run, and also what we were talking about last week, Julia, the interactive whiteboards. How so many times, whenever, I mean, we're digital immigrants to this world, and my students were all digital natives. And so the dynamic of pedagogy, instead of having, you know, the teacher who is the authority lecturing or even running a workshop for the students who are all learning, one of the things that one of my favorite mentors, one of my favorite teachers in my field, Scott Thornbury, he's at the New School in New York right now, got me thinking about was, and this was about, I don't know, must have been a dozen years ago when he started me thinking about this, and he's working on incredible projects right now, but the fact that Scott Thornbury, yeah, the fact that what your students take away from your classroom isn't necessarily what you want them, what your teaching objective is. And so I did kind of a lot of action research on that, and it's really very true. And so that kind of changed for me the dynamic of teacher-student relationship. And then with the whole thing of the smartphones and the interactive whiteboards, so many times, because I'm a digital immigrant and my students are digital natives, I would find myself, you know, the whiteboard would crash or something would happen, and I would say to the student, or I would want to highlight a word, and I didn't know how to do it on the whiteboard, and so I'd say to like the 7-year-olds, okay, you guys, can you figure this out? And they'd love to come up to the, you know, to the console or to the computer or whatever I was working with and show me how to do something or figure it out. And I loved, like during class time, I loved watching them figure things out and then explain it to each other.
Would this be, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Just about the 7-year-olds, would they be speaking in English while they were helping you?
That was part of the issue. That was, we negotiated that. It depended on their level. Because a lot of the kids I worked with were pretty good at speaking English. They really had to work on writing and reading, and their speaking, because they traveled around the world a lot, and their speaking was quite good. So it depended on the complexity. It was a mix of Spanish and and English. But so the idea of connectivism, of the way, as a pedagogical theory, the way that the internet and being connected digitally has changed pedagogy is just shocking. And I got that from reading the handbook last time.
Yeah, I mean, well, we have this pedagogy group that meets actually now twice on Mondays every week. Around the world. Julia's in Spain. Are you in Spain today, Julia?
Yes.
And Karen and I are here in the U.S., but we often have somebody from Mexico, Chicago, London. We would not be able to know each other, first of all, and to collaborate on anything except in a very, very slow way. So I think it's really accelerated our progress, and probably almost to a point where it's good to slow it down once in a while.
Yeah.
In what sense you say to slow down?
Just kind of go back, kind of keep going forward, like do a new edition of the book, and then go back and rewrite, fork off, rework things, rework ideas and chapters, and it's all public domain, so we don't really have to worry about anybody, getting rights or getting upset about appropriating content. It's just, it's all, like if somebody steals it, that's good, because the ideas will get out there. So.
That's a good point, Charlotte, actually, the idea of public domain, because that's another thing that has really affected the whole field of education. Intellectual property rights are, it's just a completely different way of looking at creation in general. To what extent is your creation yours? And we were talking about this the other day on a hangout for the publishers, because technically once you write something, you have the copyright towards that thing. But the difficulty is improving it, and so...
At least in the U.S., I think, isn't copyright looser in Europe?
Yes. Yes. But that is something that need a big discussion, because in one side we have the author that have put a copyright on their books, and they have the right to do it, because it's their creation, okay? And books itself, it has to go on. But digital books or digital information, articles, or so on, I think that this is my idea, and we can discuss about. I think that it must be, common Creative Commons, and buy, and no money, but to have the possibility to share that article or essay or paper, and to comment about it, for example, in a blog or whatever. But I think that books, we have to pay for them. But if we have a book with a copyright, just you can announce it, and you can make some publicity on internet, on the web, but not show it and say, sorry, if you don't buy it, you are not going to know what it say. It's something that I will love to talk about.
There's a lot of I mean, I don't think that guy that came to the IFNI meeting the other day even got it at all, what Maggie was saying about copyright.
No, I don't think so either.
It's so ingrained in people that if they don't register their copyright, they're not going to be able to assert their copyright. But that's completely wrong. I mean, whenever you write something and put it out for public consumption, or even if you don't, it's copyrighted no matter what. You don't have to register anything.
Yeah.
Copyright just gives you a track, a paper trail, and an easier way to reference your right to it. It's got all the data there and everything about your book. So
it does make a big difference, I think, when you're in a legal battle. Because
yeah, but like, it doesn't. If somebody's going to steal your book, and unless you're Disney or a big company, or have $20,000 to $100,000 to fight the case, I mean, that happened to Jenny, one of our members, and she sent her book around to agents and applied to book awards programs, and somebody stole it and made it into a movie. So, I don't know what happened. I thought she lost. I thought she
might have lost. I should check with that.
No. And she's an attorney,
Yeah.
She had it copyrighted. So anyway.
So back to GitHub.
Yeah. Do you want me to put that up again?
Yeah, that would be great.
Have you done more, Julia? Have you done anything on the...
Yes, I have done.
Okay, let me see. Let's see what you... More than I have. I've been busy the last couple of weeks.
Projects, yeah.
So Julia Echevarria. Okay.
And I think that it completely changed my point of view.
What did?
How did it change your point of view? That's really cool.
Yeah, because listen, last week when we were talking, then I saw the video, and I realized that sometimes I don't understand you because you speak so fast, and so I didn't answer the right way. Okay. And all these things. As well, she was asking something, and I was, I am responding in another way.
I need to slow down. You're not the first person who's told me that. I need to slow down. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So the thing is that I was thinking that perhaps I have to see my the learning challenge in a positive way, because if you do remember that I was really very, very I kind of even offended that teachers don't want to get these skills for schools, and I decided, I said, well, why don't you use marketing? So I changed all my mind. I say, well, we have to sell these courses or this idea to teachers that have to go on learning, and that it's necessary nowadays to use some digital technology in the classroom, and as I say before, and to teach the student for for them to learn the best way to study and to share, to work collaborative and cooperative too. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I think it has to be more of a attraction than a coercion. More
yes. Yes, but I had to arrive to that conclusion by myself, and I was, so upset about this challenge that it was just inside of the box. So
well, this is how we learn.
Yeah, and
that's it.
Well, it's also, you see the need, so you want to do it as fast as possible. I think you
Yeah.
know you really want to make it happen, and
Yes, yes, that's my project.
yeah. But the thing is, you have to. In order for it to be sustainable, I think you have to bring other people along, and that requires attraction rather than, you know.
Promotion. Yeah.
I really don't want to share this work with nobody, but you, because I'm changing the point of view. I have to rewrite, kind of rewrite everything, and to make it more attractive, because I will love to find people that really have the same problem as me. I mean, no problem, but uh, they need
Challenge.
to that challenge. Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. And then I know some librarian and some people that I'm sure they will love to work with me, but because I'm changing my mind in these past weeks, so I don't think I'm ready to share.
Well, here's what we can do. You know, I mean, these sessions are just an hour, and we often have sessions where we go onto a document and we all work on it. So I was trying to set one up. Ugh, where am I? Oh, there I am.
I don't know. You seem to be floating around in the ocean.
I am.
It's quite nice.
Yeah, the ocean is great.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Let me start another window, and I can put it up there to my other screen.
While you're doing that, I was just thinking, Julie, in reference to what you were saying, just like swimming in the digital seas is kind of how I look at it now. I'm glad Charlotte posted her screensaver on there, because I really, when I start GitHub, I'm totally new at, and Charlotte's constantly telling me how to do different things. Like today, she told me how to start the Hangout, and last week I was working a lot on Asana, and every week it's different, and every week I think like, oh, all right, now I've got it, now I've got it, now I've got it, and I understand the digital ocean, and then along comes a wave, and I say, oh no, I just understand this tiny corner of this harbor that I'm in. I don't understand the ocean at all. And so I have that feeling, Julia, that you were just talking about all the time, constantly, like, oh my gosh, I really don't have a clue. Oh, I was really wrong. And it's not wrong, I was really mistaken. It's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting.
One of the ways that I think we get out of that is to use we all of the time. We can go on. We can create this document. We can all have input. And so I was going to start papers and projects, and I'll share this with you. And
okay, so you're creating a new folder in GitHub, is that correct?
No, this is not in GitHub. It's in Google Drive, because it's just a little more awkward, I think. One reason is because you can't all be on this document at the same time. So sometimes we will go on a Hangout, and we'll have 4 or 5 people working on the same document at the same time, and we'll be talking on the Hangout. So it's a good way of explaining what you're doing. I'm working on the end of it. I'm going to work on the introduction, etc. So I'm going to set up a new document, and we can do that.
Perhaps show some apps that we can find and that are helpful. Can help us. Yes.
Yeah, and then we can all like you might put up a link, and then I'll go try it, and I'll write about it. I'll review it, and put pros and cons or whatever way you want to. So you can change the title of this, but EdTech Tools, or what would be a good? Okay.
No. There's now that this project, I want to decide first how to I'm going to write this project. That is, if it's going to be a basic learning project or what, you know, and define assessment and so on. Just a draft. And
Well, why don't I mean, one way of doing it, you can come with a whole thing that you've devised and we can all have input, or we can just create it and you can spend more time on it and take it in a direction that you feel is
yeah.
good, or we can all see, or we can all help even draft it, and it's just whatever works best. Let me just put the notes down there so we have something, and then I've shared that with you. So if you go to your email, you can
Okay.
you can have the share. So yeah. So I just put our notes on that from today. Oh. Is my sound still dropping in and out, Karen?
Every now and again, but it's like 10 seconds or 15 seconds that it drops out and then it gets clear again.
That's funny. I think I think it's it could be cabling. You have the good computer.
I know. I always take the good one in the comfy room with the beautiful view and the comfy chair.
And the dog.
And the dog. Well, the dog's not here right now.
Oh, I see.
I sat on the dog this morning, unfortunately, when we were in the church. I was sitting on my feet, on my heels, talking to someone, and I just leaned back, and I didn't realize that the adorable dog was sitting behind me. I heard a big yelp.
So if you are on, I will see you up here in this, right by the comments. I'll see you guys. Karen, if you want to check your email address. And
okay, wait, should I open up a Google right now? Or what were you suggesting? I don't quite follow you.
Open up Gmail.
Okay, I'll go into my Gmail. Yeah, and I have Google. I think I have Google Docs open. No, I don't, but I'll open Google Docs.
Well, yeah, you might need to accept the invitation. I'm not sure. I think.
Oh, yeah, you just sent one on Google Plus. Peeragogy in action. No, that's something else.
Yeah, it would be in your email.
On the email. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Invitation to edit. Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect.
So, and I mean, this is Google Drive is what my daughter's high school uses for collaborating with teachers and classmates on projects, or even homework. Because it's free and it's so fluid and integrated with the other Google products. Like, there you are. Yeah. You're this little red one up here, and Karen's Karen's coming.
Alt tab. Okay, I'm gonna go back. All right. Now, sorry, I'm gonna look at your screen share. Yeah. I just got rid of it. Okay.
Julia, do you know a lot about using Google Docs?
Well, I don't know. I'm just a user.
Yeah.
But I can search anything on this if you want to.
Well, there's
you want me to do something, I say.
Yeah. Well, so for example, if you want to comment on smartphones can be useful in the classroom, you can.
Yes, I love that.
Select that, and then you can comment and say,
okay,
in my experience, blah blah blah, and then, or you can just go ahead and change it right in the text. It's the way we've acted in the past is that we just don't, we don't feel a sense of proprietary ownership over, like, I don't care if you change that,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so you can augment it,
Charlotte, how did you get the comments from the right-hand column in the Google Hangout onto the doc? You copy and paste?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
And we could write this all up and make a blog post out of it too,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to write a comment this week. So the next Monday we have something, and if you connectivism, its effects on pedagogy. About connectivism, who is going to talk about connectivism?
It's new to me, but I could do the next 3 weeks. I don't have time to breathe. Really, I'm
Okay.
just so busy. So, I mean, I'd love to have time to research it, but I honestly, I just don't want to commit for probably for another month. I can be
Yes.
here, and I just spent a lot of time editing the handbook, and so that was kind of like a big commitment for pedagogy for me. So I'm not going to be able to really do much except for maybe come to the Hangouts for the next few weeks.
The thing about this is, you know, like it may be that you think that, and then you might be going through your email and you see the invite again, and you go on and you make a few comments, and that's okay. You know, that's really okay. It's just it doesn't have to be a formal contribution. You know?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Just comment and well, well, thank you for. Karen say, well, good start, and that was good. And your comment on my document, Charlotte, is, I really I work on those. I don't see if you
Okay.
if you saw it, but I did work on each one of your comment.
Now the other thing you can do, because you know, it slips my mind exactly where to find that right now. You can go
it
to
was questions more than comment.
Right.
Yeah.
You can go to email collaborators. So everyone that you've shared this document with.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can say, you know, I've made a few comments on this document. Just reminding you, take a look when you can have time.
Perfect. We just can send it right away.
Yeah, and you can select who this goes to.
Yes. That's what I'm doing normally with my, well.
Oh, good. Yeah, with your own document. Okay. So I'm just going to send this, and people will figure it out when they get it. It's mostly the core Peeragogy people that I sent it to.
Okay. Fantastic.
So yeah, and so you know they'll take a look and they'll go up here and they'll say, oh, notes from the Hangout, Julia, Karen, and Charlotte, and then Julia, you might want to put something here that says we're developing this talk as an basis.
Challenge about whatever.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm with my project and but for example, I can write a lot of benefits to use a smartphone in a classroom, for example.
Yeah.
There is no problem. Well, the digital immigrant versus native. Well, yes, I can. Those are the topics that I manage, I think. So
I'm going to go into docs now. Charlotte, what's the title of that doc?
EdTech Tools.
EdTech Tools. Okay.
EdTech.
Have you shared it with me already?
Yeah, I think so. You actually are on all the folders so I don't know.
Okay. Educational technology. No, EdTech Tools.
Tech
tools. Okay, I'm gonna just search it. EdTech.
Yeah, you can do that too.
EdTech Tools for Loosening. Oh, here it is. All right, I've got it. 1:45 p.m.
Yeah.
All right, great. Because I'm going to, if it allows me, I'm going to make. I'm going to make comments and I'm going to edit. So new school. Right, I'm going to edit. right here. I'm going to try, see if it works.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
well,
we're all
years
on there
ago.
now. So Julia's up here, and Karen's here.
Help me
Okay.
see. Help Karen to see.
And I'm going
that.
to go back into the Peeragogy version 3 and see if we have a chapter that could be serve as a basis for some of these tools that we're looking at.
Mm.
And especially maybe if they foster collaboration and the building of peer learning groups.
Yeah, okay.
So GitHub. And you can just put as much stuff in here as you want, and then people will come, or you can ask them to come and, cut and edit, and you can use different colors for different people.
Okay, and Charlotte, how would you compare Google Drive with GitHub? I mean, I would imagine that it's like apples and oranges, but I don't know.
Well, if we were both on GitHub, we would not be able to simultaneously edit.
Okay.
That's one way.
Oh, that's
Okay.
what I'm doing, and it's not.
And Google Drive we can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but okay. Nevertheless, I'm going to share something with you about Charlotte. Charlotte, Gmail or Express? Charlotte?
Gmail is fine.
Okay, vale, y...
And Karen is also.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with the conversation. It's just I you'd want to just to take a look. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, we are.
And if you want to include Karen, there's her email address in the chat.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I already.
Is that okay, Karen?
Yeah. No, I was trying to edit on the like stupidly without thinking on the screen share of the.
Oh yes,
notes.
I've done
I was like,
before too.
Why doesn't this work? And then I just said, oh yeah, that's right.
I have to be on the right screen.
Yes, exactly.
But this way we can actually. I've seen this many times between version 2 and 3, where a document like this becomes a chapter in the new handbook. So, this can be a really useful thing. It takes some kind of maneuvering strategy to keep it moving forward.
Right.
But I think, without annoying people by constantly asking them, you can do email collaborators and just say,
Yep.
I had a few hours today and I made some changes. If anybody has time, see what you think.
Right. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Oh, one thing, Karen. I want to. I don't want to forget. Last week you asked me about for how long I was doing research. It was and I told you January. And that's not true. I was thinking in research about this matter, this challenge in pedagogy, but I have been doing research all my life for more than 30 years. And so that's why I share my kind of curriculum with you. I mean to see. To see some things, and well, lot of publications, just more than 30, I think, in these past years.
Wow, great.
Okay. That's it. If it's clear, that's okay.
And where do you publish, and what is your topic when you publish articles? Is your topic technology and education?
Oh no, normally for the last
Mm-hmm.
20 years, my topic was on business.
And business, okay.
Business direction, marketing, sales, and I do courses and
Mm-hmm.
consulting too. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
did go to a company. Well, I can do it now,
Mm-hmm.
and to see what the problem they have,
Mm-hmm.
and so I did write a document on how to do it, and
Mm-hmm.
then we do it.
Mhm.
Oh.
You know, and well, I did like that because I had the opportunity to create a lot of things that if I was if I was not a consulting, but
Mm-hmm.
independent consulting, but if I was a consultant, for example, for a company, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I had to do the things as my company or that hire me tell me to do it with their clients.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to do. So in this way, I do it the way I think it
Mm-hmm.
could be okay or could be the best. And
Yeah.
that normally work
Mhm.
out very well.
Oh, great. Fantastic. And did you use pedagogical techniques? I would imagine that involved quite a bit of talking with different people in the company and figuring out what their angles were on the challenge
Oh
that they were
yes,
facing. And
yes.
so, mhm.
No, tell me. Sorry.
Okay, so I was just wondering, like how did you orchestrate that? Did you set up a couple of days where you would go into the company and meet individually with people? Did you meet in groups with people? And then did you write things up and send them an email and make proposals? How did the process work of working with the
Yes.
company?
Yeah, well, the past years until 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the time I was designing online courses, but until that moment I did go on company to teach them, for example, 2 hours a day for a month, or a whole weekend, 2, 3, 4 weekend paid weekend by the company in order to the worker to learn how to do some things that they really don't know how to do it.
I'm going
Or
to mute
but
myself.
and I
Okay.
and I ah I,
Mm-hmm.
oh
Mm-hmm.
okay. And the people you know, they prefer face to face
Mm-hmm.
lessons.
Mm-hmm.
But then I went to before the blend learning and flipped classroom and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
What I did again, I did go once a week to a company. Well, I really arranged in different way, but to go one day to the company and
Mm-hmm.
to talk about the work that they have had in the during the week,
Mm-hmm.
and because I let them things to do and to prove,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then we talk about in common about that problem on how they are trying to resolve it or create ideas, and that is really very interesting because it's like
Mm-hmm.
a 5 hours class into 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
really.
Oh, great.
So yes. So I decided to go really into educational technologies since then,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and trying to find, you know, the best way uh, to improve e-learning, you
Mm-hmm.
know, motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wish that you someday goes to my school and see some of my courses, because you see that I use a lot of peer-to-peer collaboration. Most of it
Lots of, oh, you
but
use.
before I knew about pedagogy,
Mhm.
and
Mhm. So I've I've been working on this a little bit. I just wanted to show you before I have to go, but this is, I could see this as something that we work on and put into create an introduction for this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that sounds good.
I mean, there's probably other notes that we have from the session and things that we think of as we, but this can be an introduction.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
And Julia, I have two quick questions for you. One, so it sounds to me like you've been working with adults who are, working in a company, and they already have quite a bit of practice and experience in that company, and they're running into problems, and they'd like an outside view. Do I understand that correctly, or is that, do I misunderstand? Okay, and now when you're talking about educational technology, what's your target group? Like, how old are the people that you're talking about working with? Because last week, I thought you were talking about working with teachers who work with kids, and I wasn't sure.
Yes, no, I am not sure, but on what I write to the document, I say, well, perhaps over 23 or perhaps undergraduated. So we all have to think about that, about that.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm just thinking.
Tell me.
No, from my experience, it's very, very different working with someone who's working in a company and has been there for quite some time and is facing problems. That's very different than working with university students, which is very different from working with teenagers, which is very different from working with kids. So kind of like the whole technology and education, it depends a little bit on the target group that you're working with, and that's why I was curious about what
yes, no, I really had some problems is like with teacher with salesman a woman because I was teaching them how to argument for sale, their product, and they were all their sales people that didn't know how to argue and to how to the way to show them to companies. So they, well, a lot of things,
Okay.
and they didn't want, for example, that to me to go to teach them how to sell, because they are being selling all their life.
Right. So you wanted to help them.
With new techniques, because the consumer has changed since the internet appeared with all this e-commerce. You see, so the way to argue is very different.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
And yeah, no, but that's kind of problem, But no more than that. Normally, I did teach things that they really need to learn in a way that they learn it and they use it. While when we finished the course, they were using what I taught them, I really teach them, and they were really very happy.
Oh, great. Can you think of an example of a tool, a digital tool you might have taught someone that they were happy with and they found very useful? So I can kind of follow what you're saying.
Yes, no. But it was I really love it. It was a course I give with Oracle.
On, sorry, a course on what?
On Oracle, ORACLE.
Okay, what is Oracle?
Yes. Oh, okay.
What is Oracle? I don't know what it is.
I don't know Okay, they have a university, but what they do is develop software for
Okay.
business.
Okay.
You know, and, and
It's a group that develops software for business.
yes, as it's an international company.
Okay. I don't know that much about business, so I don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. And the thing is that I was teaching them how to use uh, Oracle software for digital marketing, for
Okay.
example, and
Mhm.
they really love that software. They
Mhm.
and how to use it in marketing. It was great for them because as I say, they invest time on learning something that it will work well for them, and
Mhm.
has a lot of benefits, like not work too much,
Mhm.
to work properly, and well,
Mhm.
everything that
Great.
it can be touched. I did it in order to improve
Oh, great.
their late
Right.
learning.
I think now, after talking to you, I have a much better idea of the project that you're working on. I had misunderstood before. I thought you were working with classroom teachers, and I see that you actually really know what you're doing in working with businesses, and that's a fantastic kind of like knowledge base that you have and skill set that you have to work with businesses, and that will make a really good case study for the Peeragogy handbook. And that now that you've given me the specific example of Oracle and using it for marketing, digital marketing, that's great. I understand it
Yes.
much better. I was wondering, Julia, last week the broadcast was a bit odd because I was new at it. It was suggested that I came on early, so I did come on early, and then you came on late. So there's like half an hour of dead space in the beginning,
Okay.
and then you had trouble with your back, and we got a bit confused. So I was wondering if we maybe should if we should redo that, like eliminate that from the
Yes.
internet, and then
Please
because
do
okay,
it.
okay,
Do
good.
it.
And then what I'll do is I've got a lot of I'm caretaking for 3 different people right now, and so I spend a lot of time in and out of the hospital with people. So I'm really flat out for time. So I didn't read the articles that you sent, but maybe what I'll do is I will read those articles, and then we'll talk about it again and do the training the teachers that session again, and then we'll publish that one.
Yeah, that's what I want to. I mean, even if I have a master's degree in business direction, another in business administration, and so on,
Mm-hmm.
but I really want to work, and that's what I'm doing for the last years, is to teach educational technology. I mean,
Chief.
my interest now
Mm-hmm.
is educational technology and how to engage teacher professionals into using all these tools, for example, that we didn't have before. As
Mm-hmm.
a teacher, I had just a little limited tools, for example, for assessment. But
Mm-hmm.
now we have a lot of tools to keep idea, or even tutorials or template for doing questionnaires and measure and take data about what you want to know from learners.
Mm-hmm. And and when you're talking about teaching the bless you, when you're talking about teaching the teachers, what kind of teachers are you talking about? Are you talking about graduate school teachers,
Everyone,
undergrad? It's really kind of just from
everyone.
speaking from experience. That's a really broad category, and you might want to just again me speaking from experience. The tools that you need as a primary school teacher are different from the tools that you need as a university teacher, which are different from the tools that you need as a business teacher. They're just that.
Yes.
So that's why I keep harping on this, like what kind of teacher, just because I know having attended a lot of those sessions and having given some of those sessions, just from attending, it gets really frustrating. For teachers are really busy. It's a very, very stressful job, and it gets really frustrating when you're learning something that's too broad for you. And the tools that are available right now are just so specific. There's so many like really brilliant tools that are being designed by teachers. So, and just like there for a while, I was trying to keep on top of the technological tools for assessment, for example, and there are a lot. And there's kind of like if you want to keep on top of those, that's great, and because we need people who can do that, but it's a lot of work. So, okay.
Yeah, well, I'm learning now about data mining and big data. But also go on improving, you know, my my challenge on learning, and let's see if this will work. This project can arrive to, you know, to get some sponsor, or I don't want. I mean, I don't want for profit. I think that what I think is that it is a need. It's really it's a need on the educational market. That's it. If we are going to, I'm going to talk about in a marketing way, so we can all understand.
Sounds great. Sounds great. I look forward to hearing about more specific things like Oracle. Like that's really interesting for me. I know when I was editing the Peeragogy handbook last week, there were just so many different digital tools available that I was unaware of that I now want to look up. And so now Oracle is another one that I'd be interested in looking up, because the plethora of tools available is incredible.
Yes, and the thing is, well, I'm good on reading and watching videos and select the one that say, or an approximation about what I want to say. You know, so that's pure content, and to find just the one or two tools to do something that well, like assessment we were talking about, or OCR documents, or just a few tools that can you know, can work and be helpful for any different project. Not all the tools are fine for all projects. So that's I'm the one that have to know all the tools, or most of them, to propose the right one.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a great thing to work on. It's because Lord knows there are lots of tools, so there's no shortage. Okay, I'm gonna have to go because it's getting we're already 10 minutes over. But okay, I'll work on taking that last podcast off the net, and then we'll plan on doing the same thing as we did last week, but in a more organized manner in the future, and then we'll post that one. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, great. Good to talk to you.
See you next week.
Okay. See you. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good week.
You too.